If you want to try to short the markets here, you could be terribly wrong. You could also be terribly right. I have no idea, right? And this is the whole problem of the market. The market's trying to figure out this whole tariff situation. So almost any action that you take right now in your portfolio has a very high probability of being the wrong action, both buying or selling. With that said, let's talk about what you need to know before the bell this morning. Yesterday marked the end of the quarter. Institutions waited until the very last minute to rebalance portfolios yesterday. Markets started off down about 1.5% in the morning, fairly sharp sell-off early in the morning, retested the lows that we saw back from the initial decline. So we hit that initial bottom, rallied back to the 200-day moving average, failed, came down, retested that low yesterday, and in the minute that we did that, institutions stepped in and started buying, reverted the market all the way back into positive territory. We finished up about 0.5% yesterday. So again, lots of action yesterday in the markets. Again, a lot of buying all day long. Kept the markets kind of intact right now, still oversold. And although we've had this kind of turmoil in the market, we are developing a negative divergence in both relative strength and momentum. So that's a kind of a positive tone underneath the markets, despite this recent kind of sell-off this past week. Now, markets are going to open down a little bit this morning. Again, just, this uncertainty over tariffs tomorrow, Liberation Day. What does that mean? Don't know. But the shaded area in the back, this is a Fibonacci retracement. Now, this is just, if you don't understand the Fibonacci sequence, it's called the golden ratio. I'll spend some time on it someday on the show for you, but there's some mathematical equations on pullbacks and extensions that can be measured by the golden ratio or the Fibonacci method. And so what we've done so far is work through a basic retracement. Now, this is from the previous lows, but when we've kind of working through this process, there is kind of a lower level to get to here at 5,400 on the S&P, which would be kind of a 38% retracement of that rally, of that previous rally. So we're working through this process. We're sitting on support right now. We bounced off that support yesterday of that recent low, as well as the kind of these previous tops that we had back in July and August of last year. So there is a bit of support right here that markets are going to try to bounce off of. Now, the big question becomes today, can we hold that level of support? If not, if we break through that, we're going to retest potentially this 5,400 level, do this kind of the second leg of this retracement. But again, tomorrow, depending on what happens with these tariff announcements, and that's the whole thing that the markets are trying to adopt for right now. We're seeing earnings estimates getting slashed right now. We're seeing economic estimates getting slashed right now because of this uncertainty over these tariffs. So if tariffs are more brutal than expected tomorrow, could have a bigger decline in the markets. If they're less brutal than what everybody's expecting, then we could have a really big rally. This is really going to be a tough day to kind of navigate, getting ready for tomorrow. So again, here's the problem that you face right now. If you want to try to short the markets here, you could be terribly wrong. You could also be terribly right. I have no idea, right? And this is the whole problem of the market. The market's trying to figure out this whole tariff situation. So almost any action that you take right now in your portfolio has a very high probability of being the wrong action, both buying or selling. So again, you've got to kind of make your own decision what to do here. But again, once we get through tomorrow, we'll have a much better handle on what to do with portfolios next. But again, this is just something we'll have to work through over the next day or so. But again, kind of building a little bit of positive divergences here. That's encouraging. We saw money flows turn positive yesterday. That's encouraging. So again, don't be overly aggressive today. Positioning for tomorrow. We just got to wait, work through that, and then make our decisions from there. That's what you need to know before the bell this morning.